Hello, this is Teimurs, and this is deep dive video into our group assignment. I believe you already watched the gameplay video, so let's get straight down to the coding part. The game is made out of 3 main functions and a couple of support functions. First of those functions is initialization function. This is responsible for mostly loading up files and setting the game up. So first off we have music and sounds, then we have texture, a couple of textures, and map loading up. Map loader is very simple, it's pretty much the same as the one from first assignment. Also we have a bit of text set up, so all the fonts and all the text we need for it. Then we have the UI set up, so we have split screen line set up, we have the UI boxes and clues that you might have seen in the corner. Then we have the viewport set up over here, and we have all the game objects loading in this part. Game object is one of the classes we added to the game, which has pretty much just 2 functions allowing us to load up game objects much easier, and it has sprite and texture. So it's a pretty simple class, but it allows us to reduce number of lines and how difficult it is to make game objects greatly. Here you can see an example of how we load the game object. So patient is a new game object. We initialize its sprite, allowing us to load texture and select where the game object appears, and then we can set the rectangle of the texture to what we needed. These are the support functions that you might have seen over here. They allow us to add replayability to the game, so every time the game restarts after the win state, all of the game objects get to respawn using these functions. In update function, we have most of our game loop. So all the movement and animations are over here. They are pretty simple. We just move once the input from another support functions comes in. So from keyPressed function we get all the stuff that we need in terms of player's input. Once player's input comes in, the patient or the guard moves according to that input. Animation just works pretty simply. Depending on input, we change the texture rectangle from our patient sprites. Collisions are quite simple as well. When patient runs around, we just check if they collide with anything. Collision function is one of other support functions we have, which just allows us to check if something collides quickly. We just check if bounding boxes collide with each other, and if it's true, then we can do something in this collision part. So, for example, if player collides with any of the tiles of the walls, we can make sure we set player colliding to true, and later down the line we make sure that player can't walk any further. Also we check if player is colliding with all the pickups in here, and if it's colliding with the guard. Same goes for guard really, it's pretty much copy and paste of this, but with changed variables. Then we have the couple of timers which allow us to make sure pickups don't last forever. So for example, if you step on a battery, It gives you 3 seconds of slowdown and reduces player's speed to a certain value. Same goes for watermelon and trap and lights. Here we have the clues. So here we have the clues. For every time you pick up a clue, you get your clue score increased, and a bunch of stuff with UI happens. And in render function, we just make sure we draw all of that and display it on the screen. Joysticks happen here, so if you want to play with joystick, you can do it by using this function. Overall, code is pretty simple, and quite a lot of it is commented out. Unfortunately, we were a group of 3 people really, so we had quite a lot of problems optimizing code and making it tidy. As you can see, the main file exceeded 1,000 lines, so that's something we would definitely work on if we had more people and more time, but as development goes by, we would optimize a couple of things, like making a music loader so that we don't have to load every single one like that, and we could use something similar to loading game objects. We could do the same for UI and stuff like that. My input in this project was mostly in terms of code, so making sure all the game objects are working, making collisions, and if my group mates had any problems with map or with anything like that, I would make sure we have it working, and preferably if we need to reuse something, I would try to optimize it by making something like classes and objects. Thank you. I hope this deep dive video was useful.